Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thidoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
There is no place I'd rather be at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday morning than with these two gentlemen. Good morning, Bobby. Good morning, Shark.
I'd rather be in bed.
No, you wouldn't be.
No, I shouldn't say that.
With us.
You'd rather be dead?
I'd rather be dead in bed.
Bobby, back from your golf excursion there at it took place after our show yesterday. Was it a pleasant experience for you?
Yeah, it was a good time. It was hot.
I bet.
I'm a fair weather golfer, and when the breeze stopped out there, you could feel like every ounce of sweat just dripping down arm, face, back. It's pretty rough, but it was a good time. The NCR course in Dayton's really nice. They've got two 18-hole courses.
Mm-hmm.
South's tougher than north, and so what they did was they had a ton of grouping sold, and since we were playing two 18s, like the pace of play was really fast. We got done in under 5 hours, which for an outing is fairly
for a
rare.
scramble, it's really good, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people were good, and they had 2-putt pickups and things like that. But everybody played 9 on the north and 9 on the south, because the south, I think, is a little tougher. But we ended up going 14 under, finished second, tied for second in the group. Had a good group of guys I played with. Hit some really good shots, hit a couple that weren't so great, but far more good than bad for me. And I said, I was like, on my own tee shots, I was like, I would have probably felt pretty good about them, 13 out of 18, which is a rarity for me. So felt pretty good about what I was able to do out there and playing some ball. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then we had an event the night before. Like I was talking about, Marcus Freeman was up there and talked to his wife, Joanna. And then yesterday we went over to one of the houses that was off of it there for like the post party reception. They were trying to get me to stay the night again. And I said, listen, I'm going to drink some waters and I'm going to drive on home and hit up my kids' swim meet at the end and wake up in my own bed, as opposed to waking up there. And either A, I kicked around, do I wake up at 4 o'clock, drive like back in to
Never
do the
good
show
idea.
here? It would have been fine. Or B, would I wake up, do the show in the hotel, then drive back? And that's just, it's fine. I was there till the party was ended. Ben Roethlisberger was the speaker there at the party. Got a chance to say goodbye to Jordan and his family, and then hopped in the car and drove home. So it was a nice night. Got some stuff done. Got some work done. Got a chance to see my kids end of their swim meet and see my in-laws before they left. Wish my mother-in-law happy birthday, and then waking up here with you guys.
You know what I hate about Marcus Freeman?
What do you hate about Marcus Freeman?
He makes Notre Dame likable.
You know what? That's what I was having a conversation. Who was I talking to about this? We've had this on XM, and Bill Bender's brought it up too, where it's just because Marcus is a really likable guy. He's genuinely honest, and for Buckeye fans who love to hate Notre Dame, he's an Ohio State guy, and him being there makes it far more endearing in the way he handles everything. There's a humility about him when you hear him speak that reminds you a lot of Jim Tressel. And so when you hear that, it's tough not to have some level of that being endearing to your soul.
Do you catch yourself with, when you'll say something, you know what, Tressel would have said? Tressel said something like that. Did you ever, this?
I'm not catch myself. All the guys who I played with or played for,
right,
and who have played for people that I have, there's a commonality of people that they've coached under or played under. Like when I listen to Dan Campbell and Sean Payton talk, both of those guys have a lot of Bill Parcells in their speech, with how they talk, their delivery, what they say, how they go about it, and you're like, man, it's eerily like you can hear the words of how they would phrase things and just how they describe stuff. And so with Marcus Freeman, there's that in there where, hey, there's a lot of Jim Tressel in there with that, and it's not surprising the amount of time that he spent with Darrell Hazel, who's very similar to Tress, and under Fick, who there's some Tress that you hear out of Fick as well. I hear a little more Mark D'Antonio out of him than probably I do Jim Tressel, but there's a similarity between both of those guys too, and kind of how they do it. And so it's hearing those things and seeing who they were under, then that's how they've kind of developed, I guess, their coaching voice and how they look at stuff.
We are 37 days until the Pro Football Hall of Fame game. We are 60 days until the first 4 college football games. 67 until OSU, Texas. 72 days till start of the NFL. Reds over the Yankees 6-1 last night. They'll play tonight at 7:10. Chase Burns makes his Major League debut for the Reds. Guards Toronto tonight at 6:40 up in Cleveland. Bobby, let's get people smarter today, mainly myself.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, take it away there, Bobby.
All righty. It is Tuesday, June 24th, the 175th day of the year, 90 days remaining.
90.
Or 190, rather.
Don't freak me out like that, Bob.
Well, that would have been, we'd have been at 265 instead of 365. 190 remaining. Well, because I was looking at this, and so in 8 days, we will have flipped the calendar. There will be more days in the bank in 2025 than we have left to get to. Shark, are you going to be around for that?
You know, when
will that be your last day?
Next Tuesday is my last day.
Which is the second?
The first.
First.
And when that day rolls around, Tito can say, next month, the Buckeyes play a game.
Exactly. That's the most important. How much I love that. You know how much I love that, Shark.
I don't love that.
Why? You don't want summer to be gone?
I love summer.
Whatever. You're walking to lifetime summer.
I love football, but
I'm with you.
I'm ready to. I could wait a little longer.
You're walking into a lifetime summer, Shark.
I'm with you. I don't like. Believe me, I hate wishing the summer away. I love the start of football, and my birthday is always first, and so it was always getting to my birthday was always great. Someone goes, "Oh, it's awesome! Start at the end of the summer." I'm like, "It's not," because you would always get excited for it. Summer was kind of ending, football would be starting, and that was good. But at the same point, the end of June and July are the best. Even May is great.
I never started school until after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Usually the day after Labor Day.
Now they start like the 20th.
Gosh, it's like the middle of August.
August 16th, I think, Carp for UA.
The thing is, the reality, I'd never cared about that because football always started end of July, early August. So, once that started, school might as well be here because your freedom is therefore gone at that point in time. This date, 1314, the First War of Scottish Independence, the Battle of Bannockburn concludes with a decisive victory for the Scots and Robert the Bruce. I was going to have you pull something from Braveheart. No, not from that. Pull something from Braveheart. We've done that in the past.
Is that what that's about?
I can't even acknowledge you. The fact that you've seen neither Gladiator nor Braveheart.
I've seen Gladiator. Most of it. I fell asleep during part. Remember that? I haven't seen Braveheart, though.
I can't even quantify.
Do you know who's in it?
Yeah, it's Mel Gibson.
Okay.
You got best director, best picture.
What's the name of the movie?
What's his name in the movie?
I'm guessing it's probably Braveheart.
Yeah.
Is that it?
William Braveheart.
Yes.
Billy Braveheart. Billy B. That's right.
Yeah. William Wallace. An alliteration, but not the Billy.
No, not Billy Braveheart.
This date, 1894, a decision to hold the Olympics every 4 years is made, with the first Olympics being 2 years later in Athens. 1922, the American Professional Football Association is renamed to what we now know as the National Football League. 1947, the first widely reported UFO sighting is made by Kenneth Arnold near Mount Rainier out in Washington.
You guys believe in them?
UFOs?
No.
Yep.
You don't believe in UFOs?
No. Well, I believe that there are things that can fly in the sky that are unidentified, but I don't think they're like aliens.
You don't think there's no aliens, you don't think?
I don't think.
You, Bob? You're a learned guy. I want to hear what your thing is on this.
Learned man? I would say yes.
You think they do exist?
Yeah, AJ said they keep them over at Wright Pat, so...
Well, that sounds like a legitimate source to me.
It does. Sounds like they've been identified.
Right,
He does. He told me
UFOs.
they keep the UFOs, the aliens over there, so I don't know. I think there probably is something, though, and that we're probably lower on the food chain than we tend to believe.
Think they listen to Juice?
Maybe.
Help the ratings out. Let's get wider.
Wider, deeper, not wider.
Deeper, not wider. Sorry. That's why I keep screwing it up.
This date, 1948, the Soviet blockade is in full effect, making travel between West Germany and West Berlin impossible then for the Allies. 1949, the first TV Western. Do you know what that is?
A Western?
Yeah, TV Western.
I know what I don't know what the answer is, but I may know what a TV Western is, but I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, it's a Western on television.
Yes, I know that part, Bob. You gave it away with the question, but I don't know what the first one was. No.
I know Shark would know, but I told him yesterday anyway. There's a Hall of Fame, there's a Heisman Trophy winner at Ohio State that was named after it.
I've seen him naked. Hopalong Cassidy.
That's good. I'm glad that you added that color to it. Starring William Boyd, is first aired on NBC.
Here he comes, here he comes, and the trumpet stands the drums, here he comes. Hopalong Cassidy, here he comes.
June 24th, 1949, the first Western series to air on television. The show was enthusiastically accepted by kids and adults alike. By 1950, American children had made Hopalong Cassidy the 7th most popular TV show in America.
Who is that, Mr. Rogers?
I don't know who that was.
There
wasn't a lot available, Bob, from
Irish Mr. Rogers, what it sounded like there.
The state 1966, Love is Like Itching in My Heart, is released by the Supremes.
Love is like an itching in my heart, tearing it all apart, just an itching in my heart, and baby, I can't scratch it.
Can't scratch that itch.
I don't remember that
Fitoff
song.
always said, love is like a itching on my crotch.
Look, I know I'm in love if I got an itching down there. I know that. I know that.
It's probably something else.
Could be, but it could be love.
Also on that day, 1966, the Beatles begin their final tour, opening in Munich, Germany. There we go.
That was from the actual concert.
Oh, yeah, you
first
could
one.
tell. I mean, that was definitely a live performance. Is Munich in East or Western Germany, Fitoff?
I believe Munich is in West Germany.
Yeah, I would guess that.
How big is Germany?
Like as far as landmass?
Yeah.
It's a fairly large country by European standards.
Like, is there? Can you give me in?
It was really big. Like in 1942, they actually were all the way from the Atlantic coast to almost to Moscow.
Oh,
It's pretty large.
I didn't know, like, if you could tell me a couple of states or like a series of states.
I feel like it's as big as like Ohio, Indiana, and maybe like one other Midwest. Like,
Well, I can tell you, Bob, before you start guessing, it's 349,000 square kilometers. Let me put that in miles here. It's 138,000 square miles, which makes it the 7th largest country in Europe, the 63rd largest country in the world, and it is closely sized. Montana would be the closest state.
Wow.
so fairly big.
Yeah,
I mean,
France is
bigger.
Texas. the
Yeah,
size of
France
Texas.
is large. Yes. So some other events here. We've got 1979, Ricky Henderson stealing his first base for the A's. Couldn't find that one,
Was that
Shark?
the Las Vegas A's or the Sacramento, Philadelphia?
I don't know where they're
Kansas
playing.
I've got
I think it was Oakland at the time.
Yeah.
I've got a baseball preview book from 1978.
Street and Smith.
No, it's the Xander Hollander one.
What? Xander Hollander wrote the sex books.
Okay, maybe. Okay, first of all, I've never read a Xander Hollander sex book. I'm just saying.
I did when I was about 14. Learned everything I needed to know.
Anyway, they thought that Oakland was going to move to Denver at that point. So in the book and the preview for the season, they had him listed as the Denver A's.
There we go. Look at that.
Wow.
But he stole his first base for the A's on this date, 1979. 4 years later, Don Sutton becomes the 8th pitcher with 3,000 Ks. Nothing for that, Sharky?
Nothing for that.
That was surprising.
I got his 300th win. I think that was, last week, 2
Yeah.
weeks ago? Nothing for the 3,000th, Bob.
Well, in 1994, Undone, the Sweater Song, is released by Weezer as their first single.
If you want to destroy my sweater, hold this bed as I walk.
Did you used to play that in your former life, Shark?
Yeah, oh yeah. Weeds are pretty big over there.
Oh yeah, I do. I got their first. Got a nice blue album cover on there with all the guys on, fellas. That was pretty big time. In 2010, the second longest tennis match, or the longest tennis match in history took place. Is that the Wimbledon?
Probably Wimbledon, I would think, Greg. Don't
Yeah.
they play the games they don't do points for the tiebreak.
Yeah, and
It
you
was
still have
games.
to win by
Yeah,
2.
you win by 2.
Do you know who it was between? Can you name one of the participants that off?
One Eisner dude always plays long matches.
Isner, but sure.
Okay.
And then
Tomato.
it was against him. He ended up winning over Nicolas Mahut of France. So,
You remember that time the longest tennis match in history was played? It took place at Wimbledon in 2010 between John Isner from the US and Nicolas Mahut from France, lasting a staggering 11 hours and 5 minutes. This was a first-round match that captivated the world. It was a battle of unbreakable serves, and because there was no fifth-set tiebreak at Wimbledon, it just kept going and going and going. It took so long that it was spread over 3 days. Isner eventually emerged victorious with a score of 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, 7-6, 70-68. The match set a record for the longest match in tennis history.
I mean, who was that? Chris Farley? Remember when they had... Remember you were with the Beatles?
Yeah.
That was
That's
awesome.
Hey, that doesn't Paul is dead in that one song. That was a
I
hoax.
need to go back and
wasn't
read.
it?
That was a hoax, wasn't it? Well, yes, I'm sitting here. Some birthdays today. 1893, Roy O. Disney, the brother of Walt, was born. He passed away in 71. Jack Dempsey, world heavyweight champ from 1919 to 26. Born on this date, 1895. I didn't even ask you to get any Dempsey stuff from his fights.
So sorry.
Yeah. Billy Casper, however, winner of 2 majors, golfer, born on this date, 1931.
During a career that spanned 3 different decades, the San Diego native collected 51 PGA Tour victories. Many of those came during the era of the Big Three: Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Gary Player, contributing to Casper's legacy as the game's most unheralded and underrated performer. Between 1965 and 1970, Casper won 27 PGA Tour events, 2 more than Nicklaus and 6 more than Palmer and Player combined. He was also regarded as the best putter of his era, leading to Casper's major championship victories at the 1959 and 1966 U.S. Opens and the 1970 Masters.
I apologize. 3 majors there, 2 U.S. Opens. It's a pretty big span to win the Open in 59 and then win the Masters in 70.
Yep.
I didn't realize that run there that he was on for 3 years where he outpaced Nicklaus with just overall tournament wins.
I remember when he was named Memorial Honoree, Nicklaus said it should have been the Big Four.
Really?
With he and Palmer and Player and Casper.
Huh.
Well, if you're telling me that there was that 5-year run where
5 years.
he had more wins than Nicklaus and more wins than Player and Palmer combined, that's pretty darn good.
Yep. And 51 PGA Tour victories, which I'm sure is more than Mickelson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it's wild to see. I didn't even know who Billy Casper was before I did the research on it yesterday. Mick Fleetwood turning 78 today.
Favorite band all time is the Rolling Stones. They're just a great rock and roll band, and they come from the same world as I came from in early days of Fleetwood Mac. They're a blues band in truth, rock and roll band for sure, but their first love is a lot of the same folks that drove us to do what we're all doing, and they're still doing it.
They're still doing it. Also having a birthday today, turning 50. Oh, goodness, I didn't do the math on this. 57, I believe. Mr. John Tortorella.
The whistle is blown at 19.2 on the clock. For some reason, the clock is run down a second and a tenth to 18.1. So instead of resetting the clock, we have them tell our captain we're not going to do it. Toronto doesn't step in. Refs don't do their freaking job. And now we lose the game, and we lose our goalie. If it was done right, we don't lose our goalie, we win the hockey game. So all this technology, right? The technology and getting things right, the stubbornness tonight by the officials and by the league and Toronto, however it's supposed to work, screws us. It's ridiculous.
Corpusalo hurt in
Yeah.
the final second.
He is like the hockey version of Billy Martin, isn't he? You remember
Yeah.
Martin always went and turned things around right away, but after 2-3 years, it'd be like
There's shelf life on it.
Yeah, he'd wear out his welcome.
It's hard. And I think some of that's the generational change. And, like, to be able to come in and be a change agent,
Yeah.
you have to be really, really tough. And the problem is, like, can you continue to operate like that? And can you change as a coach as your team ultimately changes? And that's the tough part of Torts' story is a lot of times that wasn't the case. But he did win a cup with Tampa Bay. So the Lightning, and did a lot of great things here in Columbus as well. Some other birthdays today. Minka Kelly, star of Friday Night Lights, turning 45.
Most of us on that show would have done anything. We were auditioning for everything. And I remember this audition coming up for Friday Night Lights, and it was a movie. And I remember thinking, okay, I need a job. And I just remember thinking, not knowing what it would turn into. And even while we were shooting it, we had no idea what we were making, how special this was, and how we truly hit the jackpot with this. Because, like I said, we would have done anything. And we just happened to have stumbled upon this little jackpot. From the pilot, we were like, where can we go from here? The guy broke his neck. And then, wow, we got a first season. Okay, well, that's surely going to be it, because where can we go from here?
And then she dated Derek Jeter.
Did she really?
Yeah.
That was a movie and a TV show, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It was actually a book prior to both of those.
Books don't exist. But so the movie and TV show, both good? Did you guys watch?
I saw the movie when it came out.
Yeah.
I never watched the TV show.
The TV show is really good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very well done. A lot of people from that have gone on to do some really good stuff. J.J. Redick turning 41 today, head coach of the Lakers. And Lionel Messi, the little man, turning 38 today.
Lionel Messi. And Messi steps up to the plate just when Barcelona needed him most.
Boya la saca para Leo, Leo que recorta, va a buscar el disparo, uno más, sigue Leo, frontal del área, más regate. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! ¡Golazo! Lo estaba diciendo de Leo Messi.
Messi, plenty of room. Oh, it's magnificent.
Sensational.
Oh, it's a chance for Messi. Galloping clear, it's another hat-trick.
You know what I love is when we have the crossover sports references.
Yeah.
And nothing was actually better to hear right there than a European, what appears to be a British man, talking about Lionel Messi stepping up to the plate.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
which is a baseball, wholly American game. And now you're talking about soccer, a game that is embraced by Americans, but I wouldn't define it as something that is solely American. And so I'm like, congratulations to you as a commentator for bringing that in.
Think they're having cake across the hall to celebrate Messi's birthday?
I doubt it. I don't know if they know that it's the birthday, but who knows? And then passing on this date, 1908. We have a current president who is a non-consecutive two-term president. Mm-hmm. Who was the other? He hailed from the state of Ohio.
No.
Tyler?
You're thinking because there's a city in Ohio.
Yeah, it's not. Yes, not
Garfield.
Not Garfield. It's not from Ohio.
Dayton. I don't know. I don't remember President Akron.
Come on, did you skip history class?
Tommy Zanesville. I don't. Who?
Grover.
Oh, Grover Cleveland Alexander.
No,
pitcher.
that was a pitcher. Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland was the 22nd and 24th president. I talked about that the other day. That spot
You did,
in his
I remember
mouth.
that.
And they cut it out. He had cancer, and it was one of the first resections done in his jaw, and no one knew till 9 years after his passing that was the case. Some holidays and observances. It is Color TV Day. It is Day of the Seafarer. It is Global Beatles Day as they launched their final tour as a group. National Catfish Day, National Strawberry Parfait Day as well, and Statehood Day in Virginia. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date, Tuesday, June 24th, the 175th day of the year, and 190 days remaining in this 2025.
Well done, General. Always sounds better when you're in person. Coming up next, we've got some shrinkage in college football. We'll do that. Morning Juice.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor.
Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here 4 hours.
This is Morning Juice.
I'll have you know I checked in at 219.5 this morning, Bob. I'm not getting thrown out of Chinese buffets anymore.
You know, Tito, I was thinking about this half-mile walk that you're doing, and
Run.
Run, whatever you're calling it.
Did you see Tyvus's run?
I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Clips
Yeah.
He ran 7:30, and you would have thought that he ran it in 4 minutes, like Bannister.
Yeah,
It's 7:30 miles.
Yeah.
We want Tito to run an 8-minute half mile.
Complete is the term.
And I was thinking as I was doing my 4-mile walk last night, you know, the average human walks 3.25 miles per hour.
Okay.
So roughly a 17 to 18-minute mile.
Right.
And we're asking you to run.
I said complete. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if he would be. I don't think Jeff could run
It would be a slow
full
trot.
half mile without stopping.
That's what it's more of that. The 8-minute thing is the 8-minute thing was something he threw out there, but he did not think I could move in a non-walking manner for a full half mile. That's what it was.
Okay. Because honestly, 2 times around the track at 8 minutes isn't much
That's
faster
level
than
4.
walking.
That's about a level 4. I mean,
Yeah, that would be a
4
on your
miles an
treadmill.
hour is a 15-minute mile, so that's about a 4-minute lap, like a 45-minute lap.
I'm not going to let you besmirch it.
No, I'm not, because I said
It's actually
I'm
slower.
the one that threw it out
It's
there.
actually slower than probably people like his pace would be like 3.75, 3.8.
I once
miles per
walked
hour.
a half marathon in New Albany, 13.1 miles, 15:25.
Really?
Was the average mile.
Wow. So I could do a half marathon.
So I have to think that you could do a half mile in 8 minutes without much effort.
Nonetheless, it's got to keep the legs.
I've never watched him jog, so I don't know that he could.
You've seen me jog.
Have I? When?
At the kids' flag football practice or at the soccer practice. I've helped out with things.
You jogging like taking
to go get a cone,
like 10 steps in a brisk manner,
right?
To get to the concession.
I don't know if I would
stand.
define that as like a jog.
Okay. You can join Rothman and Ice this Friday for a special live broadcast as we kick off the 2025 Beat the Heat Fan Drive. The guys will be live from Westerville Fire Station at 400 West Main Street, and we're asking you to help a neighbor in need. Bring a new box fan, not a Fox band, a box fan to donate. And as a thank you, the first 100 people to drop off a fan will get a pair of tickets to the Cardale Jones charity softball game at Huntington Park on July 19th. Help Central Ohio stay cool this summer. It's Beat the Heat Fan Drive in a partnership with 10 TV, Life Care Alliance, and The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bobby, just clear something up that Shark tried to slip by us earlier. Xander Hollander is the author of those sports books. Xavier Hollander wrote The Happy Hooker, which is what Shark was referring to.
Wait, is that really a movie called is that a book called The Happy Hooker?
I don't think that's
a racy account of her life behind the brothel door. The Happy Hooker became an instant classic.
Heidi Fleiss?
I didn't read that.
Okay.
My older brother had in his bottom drawer, I don't know what it was, Sex in the Man or How to Make, I forget what it was. It was not The Happy Hooker. But, man, I read that word for word. Made me
want to get into the sex trade.
Made me really good once I needed
reading that.
to use
reading
it.
that smut, Shark.
Tito, it wasn't smut, Bob. It's just nature.
Yes.
Tito, 217. Is that like a new low?
219 and a half.
Oh, 219 and a half. What's your goal?
I'd like to down around 200.
Okay.
So
got some work to do.
That's why I got to
The
trot that
problem
half
is his
mile.
head is so large that it's like most people would be able to get there a little easier.
I do. I absolutely have a Joe Oliver size head. That's actually
And the
accurate.
thinner
yes.
you get, the larger it's going to look on your little frame.
That's what I'm, first
The
of all.
head doesn't shrink much
No.
when you lose weight.
No, if I had 200 pounds, I'll look like a damn lollipop. Is what I'll look like. Or I'll look like maybe something should be in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, like one of
Here's
those.
your top button. That's
Yeah, I
only,
did.
That's only accenting the.
You know what though? I did it today because I had it unbuttoned before, and I thought it looked
kind of nerdy.
No, but then you know what? I was proud of myself being able to button that top button. I don't
Why?
remember the last time I was able.
Why do you want to be able to button your top? We'll have Schleg's on at 7 today.
Yes.
And he'll talk to you about the importance of having a thick cylinder. And if you're trying to button the top button on your shirt, then you've got an issue.
It just felt good to do it. It felt like Bobby. It felt like a benchmark.
That wouldn't be an accomplishment. The fact that you telling me that your neck is so skinny you can button your top button, that's disappointing.
Hey, you just took me down. See, I was all excited there about that.
I'm just telling you, that's not something to be proud of.
You have to remember you're on TV now.
That's why I did it.
You're on
I could
YouTube
see
TV.
myself do it. It was like looking in the mirror. Like I'm watching the thing on YouTube here, and I could see myself, and oh yeah, there it is. I got it. Bobby, shrinkage.
Got a neck like a stack of dimes cut off.
I don't know.
That was Cody Rhodes to John Cena on SmackDown before WrestleMania.
Merton Hanks.
Oh, the thinnest neck.
Remember that neck?
He had the longest. Yeah, because then he worked in the NFL front office. He was the fine guy for a long time, and people hated him.
I bet.
A few years back, Bob, we went to a Jackets game, me and the fam.
Yeah.
And I was certain, we were up at like, it wasn't a suite, but it was like that, like the bar area up there, like halfway up, you know, where you got the bar tables and things like that. Okay. We're there. And
I think they call it the loge areas.
there we go. Logie. And to my left, I could swear I saw John Cena was right there. Like right there. And I was like, God, that's John Cena. I look over and I asked my wife, is that John Cena? She said, yeah, I think it is. And we looked it up looked up on his phone. She said, yeah, I think that's him. And we're convinced it's him. I now believe it was Artie's future flag football coach, Brad DeHaze. I didn't know him at the time.
It's amazing.
But does he look like CS? That was my celebrity.
That's hey, you know what? Brad would be feeling good about that.
That was my celebrity
I
encounter.
mean, if someone told me I thought they looked like Cena,
yeah,
it'd be great.
NCAA is no longer having sport-specific scholarship limits, Bob. But football rosters are capped at 105. Now, some football teams can have carried as many as 140 players on their team. but only had 85 scholarships.
So you could only take 105 into camp. You could only have 85 scholarships. And then after camp, when the general student population got there, then you could have more walk-ons come in.
Well, right now they're saying you can give out up to 105 scholarships in football then.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so smaller rosters though for the camp. So what kind of effect is that going to drastically
And they don't
affect?
have to all be full scholarships now, which is also a change.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so now you could have you could still you could divide it up a little bit there, but there's it's going to double the previous total of scholarships offered to women now. What that change they're doing is what, according to the CBS Sports article I read. But how big of an impact will that have on a football team?
The practicing during the season is going to be significant because you just need a lot of bodies to be able to go out there, and you can do a lot of stuff, but you need bodies to be able to do it. Like in the NFL, you don't run separate offense and defensive practices. You work with each other because you only have 60 guys out there to be able to do things, and 3 of them are specialists. Whereas in college, like defense goes in practice at one end, offense practices at the other, and sometimes they'll run 2 huddles at both of the groups, and so you have, as long as you have enough functional players to be able to do it, you'll go do that. And so that's going to change how they operate and the stresses that you're going to put. And some of the younger players on your roster who may not be playing as much, instead of developing them by learning the offense or defense that they're playing, they will have to run some more scout team than they would have before.
And it's all tied into the house stuff and the house setup and all these things. It's all kind of tied together on that. And I wonder, I can't wait to hear from the coach. Some of the coaches spoke before about not wanting to do this fact because they said they need walk-ons, they need to have this many people to run the practice like you're talking about doing. And I'm curious.
Well, coaches always want it to be easier for themselves, but there is legitimacy to what they're saying based upon how college operates. And if you want it to continue to operate that way, you need it. You need the bodies.
Do you like this change?
I don't understand why the cap. It's simply for cost.
Right.
That's all it is. You don't have to feed people, medical, and all that stuff. And it's not a lot. It's not like you're paying those guys money or you're giving them a scholarship, but they would still be around to be carried. And it's simply we're just going to limit it so we don't have to pay for it. Now everybody can be on board with it. But the coaches are not a fan of this.
We will not have another Rudy ever again then, right? As long as
it's
in
not
place.
that there's not going to be walk-ons.
Right.
But there's not going to be probably the quality of walk-on that Rudy was.
I got you.
Which those guys don't really generally ever get on the field anyway.
Right.
Like there are preferred walk-ons that will come in and play, like a guy like Xavier Johnson who ends up playing his way into being a scholarship player and being on the field significantly. But it's just still an opportunity. It's for people that you grew up, you played high school football, you always wanted to go to Ohio State, and you would have an opportunity to be on the Ohio State football team. And if you were good enough, after maybe a year, then you could hopefully try to be good to get that camp invite and to go into training camp. And that was a big deal for a lot of guys. And now those opportunities are going to be taken away.
Coming up next, there's a knockout bonus being discussed. We'll do that next in Quick Hitters. Morning Juice.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.com.
for your daughter.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thidoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
Bobby, it's a Tuesday. And it is around 6:40-ish. So why don't we do this?
You hear the sound, you know what it is. It's June 24th, the final Tuesday in June. And the featured appetizer at Roosters is going to be $2 all day long.
Can't wait to hear this.
And we have Schleg's on today, and this is his favorite appetizer. It's the mac and cheese you can eat with your hands. The mac and cheese bites, macaroni and cheese covered in crispy, crunchy cheddar coating, deep fried and served with sour cream. So good, you'll wish you were Schleg's. You're going to get a chance now to get those for $3 all day long, and a chance to win a $50 gift card about an hour from now, if you can answer the question we play That's What He Said.
All right, quick hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
The basketball tournament is the $1 million winner-take-all event held every summer. Carmen's crew, mostly made up of former Buckeyes, has won TBT twice in 2019 and again last year, and the crew is back to defend its title next month. Among those who are on the roster this year, William Buford, Caleb Wesson, Keyshawn Woods. The 2025 edition of Carmen's Crew will start out at the Indianapolis Regional, and Tito, they will again be coached by Jared Sullinger.
Is Jared Sullinger coaching Sharky? I don't think he is.
Oh, I thought that was the press release that I read.
I believe Sullinger. Maybe I think of somebody else. Okay, no worries. Well, I'll figure it out. Anyway.
Maybe Satch Sullinger.
Satch was a hell of a high school coach.
Maybe J.J. Sullinger's coach.
The Carmen's Crew. Have you ever gone out to one of those games?
I haven't. I've watched them on TV.
I've watched them on TV. Have you ever gone out to one of those, Carb?
Nope.
And it's not. There's not many Ohio. It's like mostly non-Ohio State players now. But one of my favorite college players,
Jeff Gibbs,
yes,
Otterbein.
Do it to him, Gibbs. Yes, Jeff Gibbs. When I loved watching him play, and I don't know if he still has this or not, but he used to have a Barkley butt. He wide body, not that tall, but man, he would put up doubles all the time. Seemed like Otterbein. I don't know if that's true or not, because now the older I get, the better I think he was. But I feel like he was a double machine in college. He was always fun to watch. I was like Barkley, too. Those are my kind of players. Undersized guys, big butts that get a lot of rebounds.
Under height but overweight?
Yeah, right there with me. There we go. Bob,
you got nothing to say?
Bob Seger said he was a little too tall. Could have used a few pounds.
That's right. I'm the exact opposite.
There you go.
What do you got next, Sharky?
Following a mass exodus to other conferences last year, the Pac-12 was left with two teams, Oregon State, Washington State. Lost its Power 5 status. But Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Utah State have now joined the Beavers and Cougars, but not until 2026. So heading into this season, CBS Sports will continue its partnership with the Pac-12. What I don't know is the price tag, but the deal carries through to 2030. Bobby, I can't imagine that league members are going to get too rich off this deal.
Well, the fact that they're the only two, they got a huge settlement when everybody left with their exit fees. They got to be on. They need to be on TV, and they're on there somewhere. So, what's the alternative? Not having your games televised? I mean, if they're televising for free, it's a win for them. They just need to be out, and people need to know they're actually playing games for recruiting and all those different things.
I like those 10:30 starts, and I'll be tuning into Utah State versus San Jose State. Can't wait.
Those games are a gambler's dream or nightmare because you're chasing usually. If you're watching that game, if you live in Central High and you're watching a 10:30 college football game, I'm assuming you're chasing. You've got money. Look, I can say what I want about wanting to see college, and I love college football, but after I start watching it at noon, by 10:30, I would hope I'm tapped out.
No way.
Oh, would you watch all the way through, Bob?
If it was a good game, I'll keep it on.
If
not, now I can do the split screen and watch some Office syndication or maybe a Shawshank or something else.
You can do that.
Yeah, on YouTube TV. You can
I'm saying. I mean, not. I know you can do it, but I can't. I can't have a movie and a football game at the same time.
I can have the news on there. I love it. My perfect quad box is maybe a little news, some Office syndication, a movie, and then whatever sporting event. As long as it's not one that I'm all in on. Oh yeah.
That's not tough for you though.
Note that off. I've made my career being able to do multiple things at one time.
I understand multiple things, but that's the equivalent. I can make spaghetti and take a shower at the same time. Those are two totally different things.
You're just watching. It's just viewing.
But you're not.
It's like being able to watch my phone and watch the road at the same time. I mean, I'd put myself up against anyone in that.
Okay, but isn't the sound how do you control this? Do you put sound just on one and leave it there?
You know what's amazing? In Damon's, they used to have the knob.
Yes.
We used to be talking.
Yes.
You flip it over.
It was a tabletop speaker.
They have a little thing, and the box is highlighted the one that it's listening to, and so you just move it around. So if the game is on commercial, I slide over to a movie, or slide over to the news, or slide over to Michael Scott. It's all in play.
I like the Try Box on YouTube TV because it lets me watch reruns of Morning Juice.
There you go, and you can do that.
I don't think you've ever done that. I don't think there's any way in hell you've ever watched a rerun of Morning Juice.
Of course, and then it's got the ability.
Anyone that he has watched would be a rerun, unless Shark has the capability of watching a future show.
I can watch us live, I suppose.
That was the Mitch Hedberg joke when he said, so a friend of his showed him a picture, hey, this was when I was younger, and he said, every picture of you is when you were younger.
Well, that's true, yes.
Same kind of thing
The
there,
youngest you'll ever be is right now, fit off.
That's a good, well, now I'm older. Now,
the quad box, like Bobby says, you click on one of the squares, and that's what you hear. The good thing about the Try Box is I can click on Tito, and it mutes him.
That wasn't nice.
It wasn't nice. With two of the smaller NBA markets playing in the NBA Finals, TV ratings weren't projected to be very good, and they weren't until Game 7. According to ESPN, 16.35 million viewers tuned in to watch the Thunder defeat the Pacers Sunday night. Tito, it was the first NBA Finals Game 7 since Cavs Warriors in 2016, and it was the most watched NBA Finals game in 6 years.
That surprised me.
Yes.
When you look at some of the teams that have played in the finals in the last 6 years, because that would cover the COVID years, right? That cover the Lakers there. You've had Boston in there, the Mavericks. You've had Golden State in there in that time. And when I heard that stat, after all the talk about the lower ratings early, the small market team, mid market teams, I guess I can't really call them small market, mid market teams, but that's interesting to me, and I'm quite surprised that it's the highest rated, most watched NBA game in 6 years. There, Bob.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me because it's a Game 7, and it just stinks that you have Halliburton blow his Achilles. Which, by the way, Damian Lillard, Tatum, and Halliburton all blowing their Achilles in one playoff is wild. I mean, Durant did a couple years ago. I don't remember this ever being the case in basketball where you have an Achilles injury, just an epidemic of them happening like this, and it's wild. But it's a Game 7. If you didn't watch the rest of it and you saw two teams going back and forth like that, it's intriguing.
Bob, when the Durant and Halliburton similarity is they were both dealing with calf strains.
Calf strains, yeah.
And maybe came back when they shouldn't have. Is that, because I've heard that could have contributed to these injuries?
Possibly. I mean, your calf is tied into your Achilles, so maybe.
Who's the first player you ever met, or first player you remember tearing their Achilles? Hearing news about it or whatever. Like, for me, it's Dan Marino. That's the first time I've heard of somebody tearing their Achilles playing sports, playing like in a professional sport type thing. I can't remember, like you talked about, Bobby, there's more of them now, it feels like the shark attack thing. But do you remember the first time you heard somebody tore their Achilles?
Not off the top of my head. Like, yeah, the Dan Marino bit comes into play, but, I mean, the thing is with him, it really wasn't going to impact his ability to move a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, these guys, and you tear them, and by the way, like, football is contact, and there's things happening, and most of those are non-contact anyway, but, yeah, you know what it was? Aaron Rodgers, when he tore his last year.
That was the first time you remember it? There you go. How about you, Shark?
One of my teammates, Greg Ellis, tore it when I was in Dallas. So.
Okay, and he looked like he was in so damn much pain, Halliburton did, when he's pounding the floor like that.
Well, the thing is, it's not even just the pain, it's that you know that it's done. Like, you know you tore your Achilles, and you know that you're not going to be able to continue to play. Right. And so you went out there, and it's like the rehab, all that stuff, but you're not going to be able to go out there and try to win an NBA championship. As much as that is the pain, it's the pain of regret of that.
Do you remember anybody, Shark?
Yeah, when we were, when I was in my 20s, we had in town a media league softball league.
Uh-huh.
And so, the 3 TV stations played a bunch of radio stations. The Dispatch was in the league. There must have been a dozen teams. And we had a pitcher named Tom LaCicero who did our news for us. And he was pitching. This is slow pitch softball.
Right.
And just stepping off the mound. I was playing shortstop. You could hear that thing.
Really?
Snap.
Oh, yeah. I say it's like
you
a
could
gun.
hear it?
It's like a gun.
And he went down like he got shot, and nobody knew what the heck it was. And, yeah, tore his Achilles. I guess you'd say ruptured his Achilles.
Is that different?
And
it's
then,
an explosion.
The amazing thing about Tom, I don't even know if I should say this on the air, but it happened,
he's dead
35 years ago.
You're not going to forfeit any wins, are you?
He's playing at Raymond Memorial, 44 years old, and he keels over and dies of a massive heart attack.
Really?
I don't know what was worse, the rupture on the softball diamond or the massive heart attack on the golf course.
I'm going to guess the heart attack's worse.
I never did ask him, but I hear so many people say, man, if I go, I want to go on the golf course, and that's...
Hey, he went quick.
He went quick.
On the golf course. That sounds great.
Yeah, 44 years old.
Wow. He's got 2 years left.
What's that? You?
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby.
But the amazing thing is, as you know, Bob, you can step off the curb and tear your Achilles.
I had a friend of mine who tore her ACL in the shower, and she was an athlete, like slipped, boom, finished it off, and tore it in the shower, yeah. I mean, you can get her doing anything.
I wonder if she washed the shampoo out of her hair before she toweled off.
Oh, yeah, she did.
It's very painful.
She had so here's what's amazing. It's not for everybody.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I played with a guy who had torn his ACL for the 3rd time. He finished practice.
Well, remember Kobe, when he tore his, he went and shot free throws.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah, I wanted to make sure he did that.
It's not like, for different people, their body just impacts them differently.
How did Jack Youngblood do what he did, Shark?
I don't know.
You know
it must have been a hairline fracture.
It was a very mild fracture, and he probably was heavily sedated.
So do we play it up? We say he had a broken leg and played the Super Bowl. Is that playing it up too much?
No, it's true.
No,
it's factually
he had
accurate.
a broken leg.
Yeah, but then he says, that's probably a hairline fracture. It seems like I always thought he's out there barely holding his leg together with his hands while he's trying to run and tackle people. But
drugs are a very good thing sometimes.
Maybe the best of things.
Or
is that hope?
I love when I'm in pain, like tooth pain or something. There's nothing like a Percocet or Vicodin.
Switch down with some wine to really take it to the
well,
next
I don't know
level.
about that, but I can see how people get addicted to those.
Maybe that can be
opioids.
your retirement goal.
Yeah.
Well, look, if I get a cold that's really bothering me, I'll do a little NyQuil and bourbon.
Really?
Well,
Both at the same time?
They call that some scissor.
I take like the pills, the NyQuil, like the capsules.
Just dissolve them in there?
No, I swallow them.
Let them effervesce in
I swallow them with
booze?
some bourbon or whiskey or something, yeah. And then I drink a little more. and then you see me in about 12 hours.
Yeah. Drink a bottle of cough medicine.
Can't do it now unless I go to bed at 5 p.m. because I gotta get up for this show. But I'm saying before, I didn't have to get up till a little bit later. That's what I would. That's how I do it.
Way to be a present father and husband that off.
I don't know. First of all, it's not every night.
Conscientious.
Listen, I'm not
You know,
Nikki
I'm
Sixx.
having a hard day, Shark. I switched down some bourbon and some NyQuil and wake up 12 hours later. I'm ready to go.
I'm not going to let you do that to me. I'm telling you, it's only when I'm very, very sick. I said cold, but I said severe cold. When it's real, I need to get some sleep.
You said danger. Grave danger. Is there any other kind?
You know what? That's a good scene from that movie.
You've seen that?
No, not the whole thing start to finish.
Okay. Of course not.
I've seen that scene, though.
The scene.
Oh, I've seen parts of it,
It's way too good of a movie for Thitoff to have watched.
I've seen that part. I saw when they were in the bar talking about it before, like after a softball game or something, he and Kevin Bacon. So, yeah, I haven't seen it start to finish,
When
though.
you drink bourbon, do you put one of those big ice cubes in it?
Highball?
I do sometimes, yes. Yes, I do.
I'll tell you what, one of the guys I was with yesterday was playing. He had this little, I called it his ditty pack, because it was like 4 little vials that he would put bourbon in. He's like, I've got some bourbon. He'd write on there what each one of them was. He had some really nice stuff.
You mean golfing?
Yeah.
It was 100 degrees.
That's what I said. I'm like, man, I gotta get some ice for this. Like, I go, having some bourbon. Skyline chili is what we had before. I'm like, Skyline chili and bourbon at 100 degrees. Who doesn't want some of that?
Skyline chili sucks, by the way. They're not a sponsor, are they?
No.
Good. They suck. I hate Skyline chili.
I think it's highly overrated.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I was all excited about it. The first, like when I was going to have it the first time, man, I heard stuff's really good. And, yeah, very disappointed. That's some great quick hitters there. We covered a lot of topics there. Mixing NyQuil and bourbon.
Thitoff's parenting advice.
No, no, listen.
When you're having a hard day, the NyQuil and bourbon you'll just wake up the next day like nothing even happened.
That's right. I'll wake up refreshed.
It kind of sounds like the Shane Gillis couple of beers.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it is there, Bob. And it's by the way, if I do the big ice cube molds, the big highball molds, then Heather knows I'm going to drink, and she doesn't want me to drink as often as I want to drink. So
why is that?
It's nothing. No, let's not do this. And no,
Some people, Bob, when they get drunk, they are lovers. Some are fighters.
I'm neither one.
Tito's really cranky.
Thitoff just goes to sleep.
Right. That's exactly. You know what? Exactly. If I do that, I'm unproductive. I think that's the reason.
Those highballs, it's because she maybe she might like drop the pill into the middle of the ice cube, so you don't even know just to knock you out.
Bobby, every time she pours us each a drink of anything, I switch glasses with her.
That's good.
I learned that from James Bond. You got to do that. Schlegs, next. Morning Juice.
We ask parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with a first step.
Oh, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. We built a brand new studio just for Bobby, and Tito has already ruined it just by being here.
I'm pregnant.
This is Morning Juice.
If you thought the first hour was off the rails, wait till you hear what happens at the start of the second hour.
The best way to start a morning is with a heavy dose of iron. Gas station ready, always. It is Schleg Day.
He's Anthony Schlegel. He's been up since 4 a.m. Schlegs, during the show, I buttoned the top button on my golf shirt I'm wearing. I was mocked for doing that.
What's up, SA? Yeah, don't you know I'm local?
So Schlegs, I buttoned the top button on my golf shirt, and Bobby mocked me for doing that and said, "You've got to ask Schlegs about the top button." Is that what was supposed to ask him there, Bob?
Oh, because I said he was proud, Schlegs, he was able to finally button the top button. I said, "Why, as a grown man, would you ever be proud that your neck is getting thinner?" I said, "You judge a man by the thickness of his cylinder."
Like a stack of dimes.
That's what I just
said. Like a stack of dimes. That's from you, Bob. I got that.
I stole that from Cody Rhodes when he was talking trash to Cena.
Exactly. See, listen, man. Like, my wife probably doesn't agree with this, but like, gas station ready, Tito. Listen, six cylinders. Matter of fact, there's some kid at the Armory challenged me. Biceps 17 3/4. So we got to work on that. They should be 18. Neck 18. Like, if I can button the top of a shirt, like, I should just go do some neck. Like, I'm deteriorating. You punch me in the face, guess what? This jaw, this neck, you can take it.
So the fact I was proud of myself for buttoning it, you're saying it's actually a sign of deterioration.
It's a sign of weakness. Yeah, softness. For sure.
100% Schlegs. They do at Ohio State, they do the full, when guys come in, they do all their dimensions and measure them up, and they test them. How tall are you, hand size, wingspan, strength, speed. They do all that stuff. And they had a group come on of walk-ons that were just coming through. And one of the guys, Schlegs, was, I'm guessing he was probably 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, was like 245 with a 16-inch neck. And I'm like, that, exactly, that's what I said. I go, dude, my neck, I don't think was under 16 after I turned 16.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's terrible. Who's his dad? That's the question. Like honestly, you're like, son, hey, listen, man, you're pretty big. Like, you should work that neck. Especially if you're going to play football. Hey, having a fixed cylinder is a safety deal for concussions. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. How you guys doing, man?
We're doing great, Schlegs. Yeah, we're doing great over here. Are you down in Florida right now?
I'm down in the FLA. Flew down Friday. It was eventful. You would like this. Miami Airport. You know what, Tito? You would love Miami Airport.
Miami Airport's, it's like a reality TV show.
It 100%. It 100% is. So I fly in there, Tito. I fly in to my Miami, right? And Morgan Wallen's got a good little song about Miami right now. But anyway, so I fly down there. First time I've ever flown there I've done like, I don't know how many round trips, whatever. I've never connected in Miami. Now, it was nice because I'm flying American. Now, their internet is expensive. All right, ain't gonna lie. Expensive internet, but you charge it to winning. So I'm on there doing my work. I'm just getting after it. And guess what? I had nobody next to me. And it was like the two-seater on each side of the – it was like, oh, my gosh, like this is amazing. So I'm just in there, and I'm just working away, bebopping, and I love their Biscoffs. I do. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, the little crack cookies? Yeah.
Yes. I bring my own water. I like to drink a lot of water when I'm flying. But I ate like 4 Biscoffs. Anyway, so I'm in there and I'm working, and I get off. And I get to Miami, and I'm like, all right, man, this is great. And then all of a sudden, poof, David Copperfield, I'm delayed. I'm like, this is terrible. So I go and I get some pizza, and, Italian, right? But everybody's in there speaking Spanish. So I ate that. Then I go down, I kind of watch for a hot minute, and it was amazing. Like the stuff that I saw, I mean, it was crazy. It was there. One was like these 2 dads, pair, and they were just like this. They had kids in a stroller, and there was just another kid just melting down. I mean, just right in the middle of the airport, just like I'm just watching it go down. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then I had this. Oh my gosh, some of the outfits that I saw that were walking around there. Oh man, what was that guy from the Chappelle Show? Tyrone Biggums?
Yes.
Was that him?
Yes.
Yeah, he showed up. I saw him. He was down there doing some things. Anyway, so then I'm at my gate, and I'm like, man, I only had 2 pieces of pizza, which I shouldn't, man. Carbs just do something to me. But I wanted more carbs. So I look across the way, and there's like this Cubana place, right? This Cuba place. I'm like, hey, let's go check this place out. So I go over there, and I kid you not, staring at right in my beak was key lime pies. I'm like, you know what? We're close to the Keys down here. I bet this is pretty good. Oh my goodness. Well, they also had, and the little girl there, I think she was Cuban. So I'm like, hey, what is that? And it said cerveza on it. So I was like, all right, it's either Mexican or Cuban, maybe. She's like, oh, that's a Cuban beer. I was like, let me have that guy. Turns out it's called Actua, right? So yeah. I was like, I don't know. I'll try it though, but it's Cuban. I just want to keep the local flavor going. I'm down here, Anyways, let me tell you this. So then I check out. I'm like, hey, ma'am. I'm like, do you by chance have any extra whipped cream? And then she went back in the fridge. She found it. She lathered that thing up with whipped cream. Let me tell you something. That was one of the best key lime pies I've ever had. It was amazing. And the beer wasn't bad either. I was like, man, look at this thing. I took a picture. I sent it to Steph. I was like, hey, man, just in here, living a local life, the airport. Yummy. Anyways, then I got home at like midnight.
Schlegs, 2 things. When you said lathered up, you meant the key lime pie, right, with the whipped cream?
Oh, and me.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I have never had key lime pie before, and I never knew it's originated from Key West.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I learned something new from you. Usually I learn from Carpenter in this date in history, but Schlegs, you taught me something today.
Well, I'm happy I could educate you, man. I'm happy that. That's what I'm here for.
When are you driving back, Schlegs? When's that going down?
Friday. Closing on the house today. We're closing early. We're closing early. The pod is here. Steph's here slinging furniture. The dope game on Facebook Marketplace. Just take it, baby. Get it while it's hot. I met somebody from St. Augustine yesterday. They picked up an ottoman. They're super nice. Cash money. No questions. Anyways, so yeah, that's what we're doing. We're getting ready. It's an adventure.
Next Tuesday is Sharks' final day. Will you be live in studio with us for that one?
Oh, you know what? I'm planning on being live in studio for that guy. I don't know. Hey, listen, first off, all I know, you two, that day better all be all about Shark. Because he's a national treasure. He's a national treasure. I'm so excited for him.
Did Nick Cage go look? Did Nick Cage? Are they making the third one where they look for Shark?
That'd be amazing. That'd be make a. I think they already made 3, didn't they?
They made a series. It wasn't as good, but yeah, they've made 2. I think I've heard the 3rd is in the works, but I haven't confirmed it yet. Finding
Nick Cage
Shark.
is a vampire. Yeah, I think he's like 87.
That's
He's amazing.
So you're driving back. Are we going to be able to get everything in the pod? Is that why we're selling stuff off now? Because
No, I don't know. I think I can make it all fit, but like certain pieces got to go. There's nowhere to put them. I can't put them at the house. I can't put them at the farm. I'm like, hell, I'll take them to the armory, but they will take up some space, and I do not want to rent a haul deal.
A haul,
a U-Haul. Hang on, damn, my alarm is going off. You know what's crazy? I don't even know how to stop it. So my phone. Hang on.
It's probably a clapper.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
it's a clapper.
I hit the stop button. Listen. It's what happens when Shark wakes you up. Why would I change? He's like, you used to go on at 6:30. I'm like, Shark, I get 30 more minutes of sleeping in. Why am I gonna like be excited? I'm gonna sleep all the way till you call me, man. Let's keep this thing real.
Schlegs, on the old show sheets when I would fill in for Beamer, he would send me over like the copy of the of a previous show sheet that I would add to and just edit and things like that. What's going on? And for the longest time at the top of it, it said break glass number.
Okay.
And I asked them. And I was
Brody
like,
actually called her one time.
and I said, what's this break glass number? They said, well, if you can't get a hold of Schlegs, this is his wife's number.
Call my wife.
Emergency break glass number. It was on the top of the show sheet for years. They had that. Now, it's not on there anymore because apparently you've gotten better at it. But, yeah, that's the way it used to be though every time. I finally asked after like my 10th or 11th time filling in on Juice, what the hell is this number? And they told me. And then, so good for you for listening to Shark. I don't even know where your wife's number is anymore, which is kind of disappointing.
Well, what is the protocol? You're driving back, Schlegs. What is the protocol for you returning? How are we going to get that done? Because you're not coming from Miami, but you are coming from the Sunshine State.
Yeah, so I mean it's 12-hour drive, and you got kids that drive, and guess what? Buckle up, Buttercup, you driving. We leaving at 6 a.m. Get ready. So steps in a car with Sam. Obviously, somebody's got to drive him, so she's driving. Her dad's flying in, and he's going to ride up. So I'm going to let Faith start, right? Faith, you get to pick who you want to ride with. It's like, Faith, you pick, you pick Ricky or you pick me. And then Hunter, you get the rest, And we can mix it up. If Hunter was like, hey, I want to ride with Mom, then I'll drive Sam. No big deal. But the point is, they need to learn how to drive 12 hours. So, the thing that's different between, from when we grew up or when I grew up, I just did it on my own. I was like, hey, I turned 18 years old. My parents were like, what's going down? I call them from, the Turnpike, the Kansas Turnpike. Like, what are you doing? I'm like on a payphone. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way to get a tattoo. Skin Kitchen with Uncle Tim. Don't worry about it. And I just, I pay for my own gas, my own tattoo. Like, what are we talking about? So these kids, they've never driven more than Faith. Faith can drive like 2 or 3 hours. Like she's done that before by herself. Hunter, oh my gosh, like I don't know. So you got to give them these skills. You got to be there. At least we're kind of riding with them. But I will make them drive it.
Is it a caravan or a race?
Yes, that's the question.
Oh man, I like that. That's a great question. Caravan or race? Well, here's the problem. Hunter's already at a competitive disadvantage because he drives my Florida truck Tacoma that I put 33s on, and the gas tank is like 15 gallons. So that thing just eats gas, and you have to fill it up every 3.5 hours. It's terrible. It only gets 280 miles a tank.
Oh, that's awful.
Hours. Oh no, it is terrible. It is terrible. Like I feel, especially if you're humming on the highway, you'll get 3.5 hours maybe max gas. So you're filling that bad boy. I feel like you can't ever get in a groove in it. Anyways, it's okay, man.
Oh.
Did we lose Schlegs?
And then sometimes as
He's
quickly as you
still
can.
there. There you are.
Oh.
We lost you for a second there, Schlegs.
Well, that's because I'm in Florida and Verizon is not in my neighborhood. I'm just letting you know. It's terrible. I'm like walking around trying to find a good signal.
Do you have the antenna pulled up on your phone?
I feel like I'm back in the day when I first started hog dogging back in, I was 16 years old with Brian Dobson. He had this thing, and he had carried it around on his back, and I forget what the name of that brand was. But he would pull this thing out, and he would it was like one of those radio frequency things you saw like in Vietnam that they'd bring out. And that's how we would track the dogs. And it would make like a beep, like beep, beep, beep. I was like, oh yeah, he's that way. And by how fast the beeps happened, that was how far away the dog was. So the further away they were, it'd be like beep, beep, and then it'd be closer, beep, beep, beep. Like, oh yeah, there he is. But it was like that. It's like that down here. I literally hold that up while I'm walking around my house, plugged in to the USB-C on the bottom, and I'm just sitting here, just trying to find some frequencies so I can get on the Zoom and do business, So right now I'm holding it up right now. I wish you could see me. Picture me in this, okay? Hey, radio is the theater of the mind. I'm just rocking here. I got this sweet anthropology mirror that I'm trying to convince my wife to keep. But if we do move it and it breaks, just charge us to winning. But I love that thing. Anyways, I'm just standing in front of it right now with a pair of Under Armour boxer jock shorts on.
Oh my gosh!
On my phone with my left arm in the air right now with my antenna.
This is amazing. Steph just sent me a picture of you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
We gonna tweet it out?
If you had more clothes on, I would show it publicly.
Can we tweet it out?
No, you can't tweet this out. I'm in there in my I mean, listen, bro.
Yes, to say
like Tito, what are you you Dr. Strauss or something? You can't send this out there. You can't send this out there.
By the way, we'll talk about that a little more, Schlegs. They haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's just terrible. It's terrible.
Well, and there's a couple guys that we know that were there during that time, Schlegs, that you need to talk to get some more information from. Because it's a bumpy situation.
Well, it's a terrible situation. I'm happy for the men that stood up, and I'll leave it at that. I'm just kind of pissed that it's 2024 and there hasn't been a resolution for them. So
more pissed is it's actually 2025. So,
oh shit, yeah, you're right.
Guys.
No, you know what? I apologize for the slip of the tongue there. I forgot that Shark doesn't have the button anymore. But you know what though? It's his second to last week. You gotta keep the guy on his toes. You know what I'm saying? That's
fair. That's fair. It says he's got 7 days. He's got what? This is after today. He'll have 5 shifts left, and he'll be done. And he will he'll spend. I
wonder what he's going to do in the morning. Honestly, I can't wait till next Tuesday's show. I'm just going to start writing down all these random questions. What are you going to do, Shark? His whole circadian. He's going to have to just stay awake for do one of those water fasts and a sleeping fast for 72 hours or something like that, to get back into his circadian rhythm, because the guy's been waking up every day for 35, 40 years at 1:30 in the morning. You have to get that back.
Well, we're going to call him Schlegs and text him in the mornings every day for the first few weeks just to make sure that he's
just at 2:00 in the morning.
Yep, just do that.
Shark, are you up?
Yeah.
Are you up? Yeah, that'd be terrible.
It'll be his break glass number.
Friend. You'd be a terrible friend.
Hey, look, I've never been accused of being a good friend, Schlegs. We appreciate your time. Can't wait to see you next week. Safe travels, and I hope you win the race.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Hey, go Bucks, be Cancer, Shark. You're a gem.
There we go. Anthony Schlegel there. Boy, covered a lot of ground on that one too there, Bob.
We really did.
This may be the most covered ground show we've ever done.
This picture of him, it's sent by Steph. It's so amazing. I'll show you guys in the break. She's like, this is your best friend. I'm like...
But we can't tweet it out.
Can't we just
He has his underwear on.
Can't you?
That doesn't matter.
Hold it up to the camera for the YouTube viewers.
They'll be able to see it. No, I'm not.
I'm just saying. No, Bobby, listen. He's Schlegs. He works out, right?
He's in good shape.
Okay, should not be ashamed of his body. Me and my underwear, I'd be horrified. Don't send that out. But if I'm Schlegs, I'm going to charge it to winning. Flex once in a while. Let's do it.
Yeah, I guess.
Just work on him. In the break, text him. Let's soften things up. Let's get him to do that for sure. Coming up next, we have some trash talk that may be ill-advised on the gridiron. Morning Juice.
Hey, veterans of Delaware County, looking for a fun and meaningful day out? Join Delaware County Veteran Services for a free bus trip on June 25th to the Mott's Military Museum in Groveport. Departing from the Delaware County Fairgrounds at 9 a.m., you'll enjoy a guided tour and lunch at the museum, all on us. This is a veterans-only event, and you must be a Delaware County resident to attend. Call 740-833-2010 today to reserve your seat. Or to learn more, visit Delaware County Veteran Service online. Space is limited. Don't miss this patriotic day of history and honor.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes. Don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities, and most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
If you're looking for the inside scoop on the Buckeyes, you've come to the right place. This is Morning Juice.
Don't even know where to go from that. I feel like we need a longer break after the Schlegs thing. And
more cigarettes?
It's not, look, and by the way, I see it in the chat. I saw it in some of the texts I've received, personal texts. They want to see the photo, Bob.
Of course. Listen,
and
a lot of people want to see a partially nude Schlegs. Out of respect for his wife, I'm going to not show that.
Why don't you send it to me? And since I've never met his wife, I have no problem sending it out.
Yeah, I did off. I'm not. Here's the thing. He said not to. If he would have said go ahead, I would have been more than inclined to do it.
But if we had more time with him, I think we could have convinced him.
Oh yeah, he's very malleable. He's groomable. I think is the term you like to use.
Join us Friday night for the Blue Jackets draft special on The Fan. Bob McGillicuddy and Dylan Tyre will be live from Nationwide Arena as the Jackets look to add some exciting new talent to the lineup. It all starts Friday at 6, the Blue Jackets Draft Special, sponsored by Ohio Health, only on The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Jackets have 2 first-round picks this year, Bob, 14 and 20. Lots of speculation that they're going to trade one or both of those picks to try to get more talent that can play right now this year and be contributing. And I hope they do it. I'm very excited about the future of this team.
They outperformed expectations this year, and especially in the face. And we've talked about this at length. Just the Johnny Gaudreau situation of not only the emotional impact of losing a teammate and a friend,
right,
and then battling through that, but then also the loss of his talent and how good he was. You know, it's one thing if you lose a guy, but I mean, he saw a free agent that came in that kind of, I would say, expedited this rebuilding process because he was so good and he wanted to come here. And so because of that, all of a sudden then it's like, okay, well, maybe we should be a little further along than we are, and kind of expedited all of that and everything going on. And now I think there's an expectation where when you are playing your final game with a chance to potentially go to the playoffs, or maybe it was just, maybe the final game was already decided.
The final game was decided, yeah.
The 80's first game of the year, and you still have a chance to get in. Like, yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
I give a lot of credit to the changes made in the front office and the coaching staff. And I try not to point a finger and say, well, they needed to make those changes. That's why they're better, because they made those changes. But it certainly feels like there's been an upgrade made in those positions. And I liked Yarmo, I did, and I feel like that if I'm going to give praise, Bob, to those moves, the counterpoint to that is also I have to recognize that what was here before was not as good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're always trying to upgrade and improve.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think that there's an element of that, saying that you needed to improve upon something, so you got better at it, so it wasn't as good before.
But, yeah, the young players played very well. The Jackets, I know they need to figure out the goaltending situation, either try to trade Elvis or buy him out, one or the other. But I think Elvis has played his last game for the Jackets personally. But
you think?
I think he has, yeah. I think he's played his last game. I think that... What
are you basing that off of? Just your personal thoughts?
Yeah, it's my personal... Yeah, that's my belief. I think that he's not lived up to his contract.
Okay.
And so I believe if they can't trade him, they will buy him out. That's what I think.
What would lead you to believe that they would buy him out?
Because I think that they don't want to have him on the roster.
Is there a history of them buying players out?
Who did they buy out? I don't think they bought out Nathan Horton. I'm trying to think the last player they bought out.
So here's my point.
Yeah.
You're struggling to find that. So they don't have a history of buying people out.
Well, they don't have like a long list of it.
Because it costs money. Well,
sure it does.
You got to spend it.
But I'm saying I don't think they want to have him on the roster, probably, the way he played last year.
And that's fine, but they don't also have a history of buying people out. So they may not want to have him on the roster, but which do you want less? Him on the roster or dead dollars that you're paying to someone? Because they haven't really proven to buy people out, no matter what the situation is.
I'll check with Porty on that to see if they've done it. It'll probably have time for the show. But NCAA, Bobby, Florida State last year, we know, we'll just say they struggled, Florida State last year. And Thomas Castellanos is their new quarterback this year. He came over after losing his starting job at Boston College. He said, talking about Alabama, this is what he said to On3's Peter Nakos, they don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see them stopping me. That's a pretty bold thing to say.
Yeah. Lean on in, buddy.
That's
Castellanos.
What kind of they talk about bulletin board material and how someone's saying something like that, it could be bulletin board material. Is that a real thing when you were playing?
Yeah, I think in college when you say something like that egregious, because guys will always lean in on that and be like, this guy thinks he's this and this. Let's show him that he's not. So, if you're able to do that, then, and you have that circled all year long that, hey, we're going to make sure that this guy understands what the expectation is, and if he thinks he's going to be A, we're going to make sure that he is not. And so you have that out there for you, and that's where that bulletin board material, like in the game, once it happens, it's not a big deal, but especially when you say stuff during the offseason and people have a whole year to look at it, then I think you can get some juice from it.
That's one of the key games there. I mean, obviously, Ohio State, Texas, August 30th, but also Alabama plays Florida State that day. As part of that's what he's referring to. Castellanos completed 61.5% of his throws last year. 1,366 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in 8 games before he lost his starting job. Florida State's one of those schools that by the way, Porty says that the Jackets have bought out many players. Wenberg is still on the books. So
there we go.
So that's
Good
one
for
of them
him.
right there. So So Aaron Portzline from The Athletic, our Jackets guy, said that. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head, but it felt like.
Well, that's why if you're going to tell me that, then I'm going to ask you to provide some information, knowledge.
Mine was more of a.
I would like to know what the largest buyout that they've had has been, and where Bob's would fall in on that.
We can find out on that one, I'm sure.
Because that's really what it'd be. Because I know that does he have 2 years left, Shark?
You don't mean Bob.
Not Bob. I mean
Elvis.
Yes, Elvis.
Yeah.
No one's buying out Bob. He just won the cup. So, with Elvis, I'm just trying to figure out. I think he has 2 years left, if I'm not mistaken, and how much that would be. I mean, it'd be probably a $10 million buyout that they would need.
I think he's got 2 years. Yeah, it's probably $5.4 million a year or something like that.
Yeah,
It is.
so that's what I'm saying. Roughly, I knew it was around $5 a year. It's about $10 million that you would have to buy him out on. And so I'm just curious, to that degree. It's one thing to buy out guys for $1 million here and there, but this would be a fairly substantial buyout that I don't know if they have the history of that. I guess that's the question.
Shark, call that number.
Call that number. Are we going to have him on?
We're going to have Porty on right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. This is good.
Yeah, we'll get Porty on right now for that, and we'll have. I like you, Bobby.
You know what? If you were going to bring this up, maybe we could have built him in as a.
I didn't plan on bringing it up. It was on the show sheet. This was going to be a whole segment just about the college football stuff, but we stumbled onto it with the draft special read I had to do.
Oh yes,
and that's what did it. It was not. This is not planned. This right here, Bobby. This is scatterbrained radio.
Yes, live entertainment.
It's like Schleg's hosting a show. Is what it's like.
Jeez, you should have seen the one that he hosted by himself.
Oh, yeah, the one with him and Hawk. Was that what it was? Him and AJ.
Free range Schlegs, yeah.
Yep. All right, so now we're going to bring on Aaron Portzline here in just a second here to talk about this. Look, totally last minute.
It's all right.
I knew Porty was awake. Porty, good morning. Aaron Portzline from The Athletic. So we were talking about the Blue Jackets, and I made the point that I made the statement, I think the Jackets will either buy out if they can't trade Elvis. And then Bobby asked me, do the Jackets have a history of buying people out? And I, of course, did not have an answer for that, so I leaned in on you. Can you talk about that a little bit for us?
Yeah, they have bought players out. I think every NHL team has bought at least a few players out. The Blue Jackets have taken advantage of that through the years. I mean, Alexander Wenberg is still on their books. They bought out Adam Boqvist last year, who's, I think, with the Islanders now. Others, Scott Hartnell was bought out of the last year of his contract. There have been others. I know what the club is saying. I'm not doubting the words of Don Waddell, but I don't think you can rule out at this point a buyout of Merzlikins. Listen, a Severson buyout is not happening. They're not paying a 12-year buyout. That's ridiculous. But with Merzlikins, if you're hopeful of trading him, even a 3% chance, 5% chance, whatever, you're not going to make public overtures about buying him out, because then there's absolutely, you've just guttered your entire trade market. So I still think it's a possibility. The deadline for this first window is the 30th. There's another one after free agency. I don't rule it out. I don't think it's for sure, but I certainly think it's still a possibility.
But you don't believe he'll be on the roster then next year, though, Porty, correct?
I mean, listen, I can't imagine it, but if you listen to the words of the people within the organization, it certainly sounds like there's a chance. Again, though, like you take them at their word a little bit this time of year. Not saying they're bad people. I'm saying they've got a job to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to imagine that that's not a position that they are really, really intent to upgrade.
What would it cost to buy him out? What would the penalty be, or how would that work?
So it's spread out over 4 years. He's owed. He's got a cap hit of 5.4 per year, so that's 10.8 total. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I have to look at my records, but if I'm remembering correctly, the salary that remains is a little bit less than the salary cap. So it's 2/3 of that. Get your calculators out. 2/3 of that and then spread over 4 years. So it's now manageable. Last year, 6 years, right, at what would it be, 16.2. That's a different world. But I think it's now seen as manageable, not preferred. Nobody wants to buy out a contract. It's dead money. But I do think it's now reached the realm of being possible.
Okay, so you're saying that if it's about 11 is what he's owned, 10.8, about 60-ish% of that, so you'd probably be around $8 million over 4 years, so like $2 million a year. So that is more manageable. I was unfamiliar, Porty, with like how the process worked of how many years you got to push that over, and so that makes it much more palatable. I would think. Jeff is also of the belief that they're going to push their picks potentially into some form of trade to get more immediate talent on this team in the draft. Do you think that that's also a possibility?
Well, I think they, for sure, want to trade at least one of those picks. Don Waddell has even said he's not averse to trading both of them. Here's the thing, though, guys. This is not a great draft. It's an okay draft. Even the number 14 pick alone, especially with the salary cap going up, and a lot of teams now have room they have not had before. The market for that number 14, I don't think is going to draw you a player by itself. It's probably going to have to be a sweetener with somebody else to get a significant player back. That's my read. I think he wants to trade at least one of them to facilitate immediate improvement. I think he's willing to listen on both of them. But again, I don't look at this draft and those pick placements, 14 and 20, and think that those by themselves are going to move the needle for the player.
Porty, you're the best. I know I got you last minute. I appreciate you hopping on with us and clearing that up for us, man.
Anytime, boys. Anytime.
And we're going to call you tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Thanks, Porty. Appreciate it, buddy. Have a good day.
See you, boys.
All right, that was Aaron Portzline from The Athletic. The best. Really the best.
It was really good. If it was even planned, it would have been better. But yes, getting a little Jackets breakdown there on everything that was going on. And
how about this?
You hear the sound, you know what it means. Pavlov's dog. Roosters Day, Appetizer Tuesday. Every Tuesday, it's $3 appetizers for the featured appetizer. Today's featured appetizer is Schlegel's favorites. We didn't even bring this up to him. The mac and cheese bites. Macaroni and cheese you can eat with your hands. It's so crispy and delicious and tasty. Go check it out.
I think I've got that's what, unless you have one.
I've got one.
Okay, do yours then. Go ahead.
Because Thidoff, Shark and I reference a lot of movies. Thidoff rarely knows any of them. There was a movie that we referenced earlier today that was involved in this day in history that I believe was a movie of the year. I know Best Director was given to it. It did a really good job in the mid-'90s. That somehow Thidoff acted like he had no idea what it was about and who was in it. What was that movie? 821-614-821-1460 to get your $50 Roosters gift card.
All right, coming up next, we'll tell you who's got us juiced. Morning Juice.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.com.
For your daughter.
Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Thank you to our good friend Aaron Portzline for joining us on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Thank you to Schlegs.
For joining us on a moment's notice
on
for
moment's
him.
notice for him as well. You're right. Yes, you are right. Schlegs was I said in the chat, Bobby, that I hope that the people that enjoyed the show as much as I have, we've covered a lot of ground, some unexpectedly. And I think that we got Schlegs unexpectedly, the way it sounds, the way we got him out of bed this morning. Almost had to break the glass, but glad we didn't have to do that. Shark, we got a winner for that Roosters gift card?
We do. It is Sean from Mount Gilead, Ohio, who gave us the answer.
Braveheart.
Billy Braveheart.
Yeah, I don't know if Billy is there. William Wallace was the character portrayed by Mel Gibson. It's today the Battle of, I want to say Dunkirk. Hold on. It's
he's got to get out of the trash can.
I'm pull this out of the trash
Watch
can.
on YouTube. Bobby moving back to get his this day in history sheet. So why they call it Braveheart? His name's William whatever.
William Wallace.
Bannockburn.
Okay. Why do they call him Braveheart then?
He had a very brave heart.
Okay. That's okay. Was he? All right. I just remember seeing the face
You ever
paint.
seen the movie Lionheart?
No. I saw Lion King. Not just the animated version.
Have you ever seen
though.
Lionheart, Shark, with
No.
the Frenchman, Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No.
Rothman hated that because in the movie, he hates when the name is like so obvious because the one guy goes, "You got heart, Lion," because he used to call himself Lion, the Lion or something. And he's like, "You got heart, Lionheart." And Rothman goes, "It's the worst line of any movie that I've ever heard." But they don't ever reference Braveheart in there.
He was the one movie Bloodsport is one of the most rewatchable bad movies.
Oh, it's great.
Well,
it's tremendous.
You got what, Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds in there.
Yeah, but his brother, he's a Frenchman, and his brother looks like he's like Hispanic.
Right.
You know, like, and his brother, by the way, doesn't have a French accent.
Right,
So,
yeah.
How is that his brother? I'm like,
I don't think, you can tell throughout that. But they didn't have a big, didn't put a premium on like good acting and storytelling.
that's the one, though. I always get Bloodsport and Kickboxer confused. Is that the one where the dude, is it Kung Po, and he's kicking the pillar? And like he's kicking in this old building, this concrete pillar, and with just his shin, and the whole building's like shaking, but that's how he's getting his shin like toughened up, Shark.
I can't remember if that's in that one or not. I remember
It might be Kickboxer.
Yeah,
it's the one where the guy throws the stuff in his eyes. And
That's
he
it.
goes
No,
blind.
that's Bloodsport. That's Bloodsport.
I know
then.
that's
Okay,
Bloodsport
yeah.
at the very
Yes,
end.
Yeah.
And then he's fighting. He can't see, but he can feel him. He's like,
Right.
ah!
The force, right? He's got
It's so great. He does like the side punch and gets him right in the face.
Right. It's amazing. It's realistic too.
Oh, it's so good.
Speaking of Jean-Claude Van Damme, what's got you juiced?
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Get that reference there, Shark? Because he juiced?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, it's juice.
It's good.
Steroids.
No, Bob, it's me.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
It's a Tuesday. Come on, Bobby.
Well, I wasn't in here yesterday, so it feels a little weird.
It's all right.
They weren't playing to not lose the game. Remember we talked about that? When Lou Holtz's MO for the game for Notre Dame was don't lose the game. Terrible take. I don't care if he's 88 sitting up there looking terrible. Anyways, I got sidetracked because I was thinking about Lou Holtz.
Looking terrible. I don't care if he's 88.
That we should isolate that. I got sidetracked.
Yeah, that's right. That should be in the open for him
every day. He's going to get sidetracked driving from Jacksonville to Columbus, and he's got to stop every 3.5 hours because he's only got a. Well, what did he say? A 280.
His son's going to drive that one. I think he's in the other one. He'll be in the other vehicle. Yeah, so he won't have to stop.
I love the heat. I love this heat. The hotter, the better. I went to the pool yesterday. Sat at the pool. I didn't sit at the pool. I was in the pool.
Yeah.
For a solid 2 hours. I never did lay out. I just stayed in the pool, which is where I need to be. I am a shark.
Yes, you are.
And I need to be in the water. And I'll be back there again today.
Wilford Brimley was 10 years younger than you today when he was portraying Cocoon.
Yes.
In the water down there.
In real life.
In real life. He was like 52.
Which is crazy because he looked 20 years older.
Make your diabetes reference, Bobby.
It's a great movie, though, Bob, based on a true story, I'm sure. Yeah, the Fountain of Youth. Right. Get it in the swimming pool. What else? Tito was we were talking about Damon's onion loaves earlier this morning. He never ate an onion loaf at Damon's, and you used to work there, and I used to work there as the sports director. I was the guy when, this was a new concept, sports bars, if you want to call it a bar, where, you had the four big screens.
Yeah.
And you'd play games, QB1, and anyway, what really got me to want that job was, I thought it was the original Damon's up on Morse Road.
Park Hotel.
The clubhouse.
Yep.
And me and my buddy, Steve Buzza, we won the QB1 championship in 80. When did the Bengals played the 49ers in the Super Bowl?
The first time they played 82, then they played again in 89.
Okay, so January of 89 or January of 90?
January of
89.
Okay. So the 88 season.
Because, I'm trying to think now, because it was the Giants-Bills was 91.
That was
off the 90 season.
90, 91, yeah.
So, yes, the war had started.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe this was 90 then.
Might have been 90. Might have been 89.
Anyway, that's 36 years, 35, 36 years ago. We won the entire clubhouse. You could have 20 teams, remember?
Right, yeah.
I don't remember what we won, but
did you win nationally?
An onion loaf.
Probably won an onion loaf, maybe a rack of ribs. I don't know.
We used to have the contest where we'd give out there were the national ones or Damon's.
Well, yeah.
There was the Damon's wide ones where you could win like a trip or something.
Right. We would win the weekly thing and be ranked number 7,000 nationally.
Yeah. The QB1 thing, that was great. Sports trivia on Thursday nights.
I won I don't know what the MLB version was when Kirk Gibson hit the home run in the 88 series. I was there playing the MLB game, and I put home run because it was the only thing that was going to let me win.
Right.
And he hit the home run off Eckersley.
You should have seen Bobby Shark walk into the Damons and Hilliard on Sports Trivia Night in a paid appearance, celebrity thing, walking in like the cock of the walk.
Yeah.
He was just, arrogant.
It was like pros versus Joes. I mean, he was like Deion Sanders. They were bringing him in to...
So I came to work at the Fan in 2014, and Tito comes up to me and said, Shark, I don't know if you remember me, but I met you 20 years ago.
You didn't. You had no idea. How do you make eye contact with me? I'm going to introduce myself like, oh, my gosh, this is Mark the Shark. Hey, kid, give me a beer.
I didn't remember that meeting, but in any event, it turns out Tito became my best friend after that.
You and Clark Donnelly were that day.
No question. And then finally, before I discovered Destin in 2012, we go to Destin every year. Before that, we went to Hilton Head every year. Yeah. And you saw what's going on in Hilton Head, Bob. 2 shark bites in the last week.
Lots of those.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are 100,000 people in the water there at Hilton Head, so I still like my chances. But it does give you a little pause for getting in the water, in the salt water down there on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean.
Say if they were provoked or unprovoked?
I didn't hear how it happened, but probably not provoked. Unless you're kicking while you're swimming. Bob, what has you juiced?
Oh, boy. Yesterday, you had to go to Jordan Cornette, his golf outing in honor of his brother. Got to see Brady Quinn there. Eric Woods was there, the former center for the Bills. Awesome dude. Played at Louisville. Used to train with my brother when my brother was a strength coach down there, and snapped a picture with him, had some good conversations. And then at the Ben Roethlisberger came and was speaking afterwards as well. Said hey to him real quick. And one of the cool things was, I show up after the golf deal, and they're having a party, and it's food and drinks, and they've got music playing. And a lot of times I'll have just some novelty things. Well, they had 3 barbers set up over in the side of this pool house. And I was like, we're giving haircuts. I was like, well, how much are they? He's like, well, they're free. It's part of the deal. I'm like, really? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to multitask a little bit here. Since I'm here, I need to get a haircut. And sat on down and got a haircut. The guy cuts Sam Hubbard's hair. He used to cut Tyler Boyd's when he was living in Cincinnati. Good dude. And had a good conversation. So that got me juiced. I was like, you know what? This was going to have to be an hour of my day at some point in the future here in the next week that I was going to have to get done. And I got it done there, and I tried to tip the guy. He wouldn't even take any money.
Seriously?
Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. He's like, this is for the event. I go, I understand it's for the event, but I'm still going to tip you.
Sure.
So I got to tip my barber who I pay.
Yeah.
So then he wouldn't take any of it. He wouldn't give me his Venmo. So.
The sad thing about Brady Quinn is once he quit football, his body just fell apart.
Yeah.
Just went to pieces.
Yeah, now he can spend more time lifting weights and staying in shape.
Probably has about 40% body fat.
We were talking, he goes, I need to call you instead of AJ when I need help in Columbus. I'm like, well, yeah, because AJ doesn't go out and do stuff and be around. I was like, well, so we need to hang out more. I'm like, dude, give me a call. I'm around. We can go to the FAC, the Friday afternoon club, with his dad Chops and have some drinks and get that done. That's got me juiced. And then also seeing this little nugget about Michael Jordan, or by Michael Jordan, got me juiced as well.
Win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am.
There you go.
To win, you got to lose.
Yep.
Michael lost a lot. And the thing is, when you get older, you never remember any of that stuff, and you only remember the good stuff. But he missed game winners, and he talks about it, how you get over that and continue to work, and don't let it be a finality to your career.
Bob, real quick, how often do you get invited to these golf things? All the time?
I used to say no more to the ones than I said yes, but I'm playing in one next Monday for the Ohio State baseball team. I don't know. I probably play in 5, 6, or 7 a year.
When was the last time, or have you ever been starstruck when you see somebody at one of these outings somewhere else, and you go that you're genuinely a little bit nervous to meet him or her?
I didn't actually even go up. I just shook his hand and walked by. The guy that you were just hearing, when I was a rookie, Mike, we got a night off in Oxnard, and Michael Jordan went to Santa Barbara, and Michael Jordan was in the bar club we were at.
Right.
And one of the guys was like, man, I want to go up and say, I was like, he doesn't want to meet you.
Yeah.
He was a undrafted free agent linebacker from Texas Tech. And again, he walked by, he wanted to do pictures and stuff. And he walked by, just shook his hand. And that was it.
Wow.
But that was the last person, him and probably Tiger were the last people I was legitimately, I wouldn't say nervous, but really excited to meet.
Right.
I mean, Ben's there. I played against Ben. Just guys who are your
contemporaries. The NFL stuff, you probably, you wouldn't get that, I wouldn't think.
And I don't think I'll ever be excited to meet anybody that's younger than me. So the list of people now is getting thinner and thinner.
All right, what's got me juiced? Let's see. I also like the Heat Shark. I have not been in a pool yet, though. and I have not been. We went to Zubizi Bay. I guess I got in the wave pool for a minute.
Do you know how to swim?
Yes, I'm not Schlegel. We didn't talk about Schlegel, by the way. I should have brought that up. I guess we'll have other opportunities to bring it up with Schlegel. But yeah, I enjoy. You know, what I enjoy more though than the heat. The feeling coming into air conditioning after the heat. I like that more than the heat. I'll go out in the heat. Like, man, I love the drive. I told you guys I love the drive to work in the morning. But then if I'm outside for a little bit, I like the feeling of the air conditioning when I walk out.
You know what I liked is when we would do the show. I was doing my show with Rothman, and the studio was so cold. And then at 3:00, I would go sit in my truck in the summer and drive home without the air conditioning on.
Just to warm up.
It felt so tremendous.
I love the extremes. I love really hot, really cold. Don't, Bobby. We're not doing that. We're not talking
people say like the extremes.
I like the extremes when it comes to weather. And so, yeah, the really hot, really cold, and then going the other way with it. I got to make sure I'm phrasing all stuff right because Bobby's going to say something to me.
What you're talking about.
What I'm saying, I like when it's really hot. And
I like when it's zero?
And then I go inside, it's air conditioning. Or I like being outside when it's zero. Yes. I want a good snowstorm. I'm good with the blizzard. I would love that for a couple of days, and then I want it all to go away after that. But I'm saying I love going cold to heat, heat to cold. I should have been an athlete, right? You guys do that, don't you?
Contrast, you can do that. You don't have to be an athlete. Yeah. You can do anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I can do it, but I'm so comfortable doing it, I should have been an athlete. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, there you go.
That's the reason I should have been an athlete. Thanks, everybody in the chat. We appreciate that. Thanks, Porty. Thanks, Schlegs. Thanks to Carp and Shark. Shark, you got one more Tuesday after this.
5 days, Tito. 10 hours.
Weeping over here. All right, folks. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Morning Juice. Thanks.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back.